in practice, like, because obviously I didn't speak English, I didn't even know it was like 2 separate groups. So I don't know how I ended up practicing Group A and Group B. I remember like I had a friend, Bernardo Cruz.
Yeah.
Like he was racing. He like when obviously I was Group B because I was like a really high number.
Yeah.
And when he saw me in Group A practicing, he was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm practicing." Why? Practice is still this time. It's like, "No, mate, you're Group B." I was like, "What's Group B?" It's 2 groups separate. It's like how the it was. I was like, "I don't know, man. No one said anything to me. I'm just riding. I'm just having fun." I had some random people that I never seen before. "Oh, what do you think here, Roger? Where what's the line?"
On track walk?
On track walk, like today. Like I was like I tried to keep like cool. Like I was like, "Oh no, I think this is the line." Blah blah blah. But like inside me, I was like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
Cool,
like,
man. Roger Vieira, welcome to the Downtime podcast, man. First person in the Lear Gang mini studio. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity and for the invite. So yeah, it's been a long time listening to your podcast, and yeah, it's quite cool to actually be here. So
thanks, man.
Yeah,
I'm excited. No, I'm stoked to find out more about you. I think there's some stories to be had. Start off with just tell us a little bit about growing up, because you definitely didn't grow up in the UK, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, growing up in Brazil.
Whereabouts in Brazil?
South of Brazil. So Santa Catarina is the state.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a big country. So, but it's like really south. It's close to where. Well, I say close. It's close in Brazil kilometers.
Yeah.
To where they had the World Cup.
Okay.
So it's like I'm like 300 kilometers south from where they had the World Cup there in 2005. So yeah.
Nice. And what was riding like for you when you were younger? Like, how do you remember kind of getting into bikes and discovering riding off road?
So my dad obviously put us into it. My dad used to race cross country.
Okay.
So I started in cross country, 20 inch bikes like BMXs. Raced cross country, and then went to 24 inch. And I was always like the guy that struggled in the uphills, but was good in the downhill. So I had like a guy that me and him was battle all the time, and I would win some race and he would win others. But I remember that in the climbs he would overtake me, and then in the downhill I would just overtake him. And it's crazy. And then obviously after the 24 inch I went to 26, started doing cross countries, and then in 2007 I did my first downhill race on 26 inch cross country bike. Probably was like 17 inch, which for me is quite big.
Okay.
So I just think it was a Fuji bike.
Yeah. Drop a seat post or just slammed?
It was not even a thing. Drop a seat post. So and then with a open face helmet.
Yeah.
Probably didn't even have a knee pad or anything in my knee.
How did that go?
I did qualify, and I think I was like 10 seconds off the win.
Okay.
And obviously in my head, as a competitive guy, I thought I could win.
Yeah.
I didn't think because obviously I never raced downhill, so I didn't know how 10 seconds is quite hard to do it.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I go faster, I probably can win this race. Literally the first bit of the track, I crashed, and I just remember walking, spitting mud on the side of a woman that I never seen before.
Oh man!
So yeah, I crashed pretty hard. Obviously with an open face helmet, probably got concussed, and then just wake up like at the top of the hill. Yeah, spitting dirt and yeah. Yeah, that was my first experience doing that.
But it didn't put you off?
No,
clearly.
No. And then my dad saw that I liked that, and he started to actually then we transitioned from cross country into downhill. Like next race I already had like a little free ride bike, hardtail, with a full face helmet, and he bought all the gear for me and stuff. But so yeah, that was that. But obviously we grew up like not much money, and like in Brazil, it's not like in UK that the things you can have like the things a lot easier. In Brazil, everything is a lot more expensive, and it's a lot harder to have these imported parts because the tax there is they tax a lot when something comes from here. It goes to there, they put a lot of import tax on, and everything ends up like quite expensive. But yeah.
Nice. Is there much of a scene there then for like mountain biking and then for racing?
Yeah, it's obviously not as big as here, but like cross country is massive now because of Avancini.
Yeah.
Downhill is still not as big, but like people are really into mountain bike now because of Henrik Avancini.
Yeah.
But yeah, downhill is a bit smaller. Like a race, I would say, because the problem is like it's a massive country. So if they do a national round, they probably get like around 300 riders.
Yeah.
But for the size of the country, 300 riders is not much.
Yeah.
Like a regional, like a state race, because they do state races there. So like where I lived, like when I lived there, it was bigger. It was like 300 riders in a race. Now it's about like 100, 150 riders.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it like you don't have like places like here. They have a bike park with like a gondola and stuff like that. You don't have that there.
Okay.
They are starting doing like bike parks, but I think you probably have like 3-4 bike parks there. But again, because it's such a big country, 3-4 bike parks is
so you could live like tens of hours from your nearest bike park. Yeah.
And then you have like tracks like around like the states and stuff, but so like with like a pickup truck, then you uplift and you go and ride by yourself, but it's nothing like an official like trail kind of thing. But yeah, that's how it rolls there.
Cool. So you're getting into downhill, you're getting some slightly better equipment. How do we get from that as a young kid to making a huge decision to move to the other side of the planet and like take this thing up a fair few levels? Like, give us a bit of a feel for how that all happened.
So yeah, like my dad, so he had a bike shop in Brazil, and like he had like, well, we started going to the races with like had a little like tow thing in the back of his pickup truck, and then he used to take like parts and his tools and stuff. So he used to try and sell parts and then be a mechanic as well in the races, while me and my brother raced the races. Like we used to live quite far from where the races used to happen, so we used to do the state, like, which is called Catarinense downhill, so it's like on our state. And all the races used to be like 300 to 350 kilometers away from where we lived. So we used to do that, and yeah, my dad used to drive us there and then make some money with like the bike and the mechanic, so he could pay for the travel and also for the entry fees and everything else. So yeah, we started like that, and then my dad got busier and busier, bike shop got bigger, and at the end we had a big truck, which like opened the side of the truck, and then it had like all the parts, like walls parts, and he used to like take bikes like and everything. It was pretty cool setup. And then we started like racing nationwide, so we would go like travel like 2,000 kilometers to a race with the truck, and yeah, like just raced like everywhere. And as like, I think I started doing really well when I started like my first year junior. I started like winning races and like riding like really well. I think I won this state like championship at the end. I think, I don't know if it was like both years or 1 year. It's like the year I raced, we had like, I think, the most competitive like junior class. It's like all the guys that are in elite now winning races, it's the guys that I raced against in junior. So it was really competitive, and also obviously we had like Markov Berthold that was from the same state, and he was like he like in 2000s he was like top 10 in the World Cup. Like he was big thing, and we all looked up to him, so we always compared our times to elite. And yeah, a few races like I was winning like the overall, like
awesome.
even within there. And we had like two federations, like one like was official and the other was like official but through another kind of federation. And on this other federation I used to race in elite while I was a junior. And yeah, I was like winning those races as well, which was quite cool. And then I did my first year elite there, and I think national champs I finished 4th, which was amazing. And then like in the end of the year, like my overall ranking, I was like top 3 like in the lead.
Fair play.
So
Yeah, so the
And
promise
then-
was there, right?
yeah, and then we decided, like, my dad was fed up with like all the bollocks tax and
Yeah.
all the tax that he had to pay and all
Uh-huh.
that. So he sold the bike shop, sold everything, and then and sorry,
It's okay.
and
man.
then we moved. We moved to UK. Well, he went to Italy first.
Okay.
Like he moved. He came to Italy to do his citizenship, so
Okay.
we could live here.
Yeah.
And then like he stayed 6 months there, and then he decided to come to UK because he had like opportunity for work.
Okay.
And then he said, "Oh yeah, you guys are good." He settled up here, like house and stuff.
Amazing.
And then me and my mom and my brother, like,
Yeah.
we sorted everything out, sold everything, and then came to UK.
So the move to the UK was not necessarily then purely for you and your racing. It was like a lifestyle change that your father and
Yeah.
your parents decided that they wanted to make.
Yeah, obviously, like, it wasn't literally just because of racing. Obviously, in the back of it, he was thinking about the
Yeah.
racing
Yeah, for sure.
because it would give better opportunity for me and my brother.
Yeah.
But then he also was fed up. Like, even before he had bike shops, when he was working as he used to make bread for a big supermarket.
Okay.
So he quit that and he saved money. And then he paid a guy to take them to America. So he was gonna live in America, and this guy just disappeared with his money.
Oh
And
man.
so he quit the job and everything.
Yeah.
And then that's where he and his friend, because his friend like, did the same thing. They were both going to America.
Yeah.
They both, like, with like I think 1,000 Rio, which is like, yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
They both put 2,000 Rios together and then opened the bike shop together.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Not willing,
so- but
he's willing
the-
to take a risk then.
Yeah,
Eh? Like,
the
it's cool.
idea of like moving, it's not like it wasn't. It was like from
From a while
yeah,
back.
from a while back.
Yeah.
because I think he had the bike shop for like 10 plus a year.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah,
How was it for you then moving to the UK? How old were you when you came over?
I was 18
Okay.
years old. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big move, right? It's a big change.
Yeah, it's massive, but I guess because I wanted more than anything else, because of my dream was always race a World Cup,
Yeah.
and for me, because I was good in Brazil at
Yeah,
a
yeah.
certain point, for me I was gonna race a World Cup and I was gonna do really well, and I was gonna be in a factor team
Okay.
the next day.
Was the plan.
next day, yeah. So. It was a big wake up call. We got into that when we talk about my first World Cup.
Definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, that was my head. But yeah, it wasn't easy because like we moved to there, and obviously I had to work. So my dad was in construction, working as a roofer,
Uh-huh.
and he managed to get me a job in the canteen
Okay.
of the site. So I worked, like, I think for like half a year or a year, like in the just washing plates on this canteen, and then until like his boss needed more help, and then I started working as a roofer in the
Okay.
construction as well in
Yeah.
London. But yeah, like, we used to ride every day to work. Like, I loved it because, like, in the rain or whatever
Yeah.
in London, like, just cycling. And
So you were in London at that point, yeah?
Yeah, in London. Yeah, we
Yeah.
moved to London because that's where the job opportunity was.
Yeah. Not the best for mountain biking though necessarily, hey?
No, not at all. And then obviously, yeah, my dad used to drive us like every weekend to places, and it was crazy because we didn't know anything. So I would go online and into the website and like look at trails, like good trails, and like we ended up in Riola, pushing the bike up, like without even know where it was Riola.
Amazing.
And we would just used like we did that a lot, like went probably like loads of tracks,
Yeah.
and then finding out that it wasn't like great spot to practice and stuff like that.
Yeah. And probably like 2-3 hours from London and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like we'd wake up like early.
I guess for you coming from Brazil, that was close, right? That was like next door.
At a certain point, yeah, it wasn't too far.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was big commitment from my dad, and yeah, well, definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Yeah.
Yeah, fair play. How did you find it, like integrating into the UK riding scene? Was it like easy to get to know people and like get into that side of things?
Yeah, like everyone seemed pretty welcomed us, but like it was pretty hard because we didn't speak English
Okay.
at all.
Yeah.
Like I knew like the basic of the basic, like, but yeah, to talk with people was really hard.
Yeah.
But I would never forget, like my first national, I went, and one of the people that talked with us quite a lot. 'Cause some people would talk with us, but then see that we don't talk English, and then just, oh, it's impossible to talk with these guys.
Yeah.
But I remember like Larry Grilland, his Larry Grilland dad,
Yeah.
and him, like talked with us a lot, even
Nice.
though like we didn't speak English at all.
Yeah. You
They,
found
like,
a way
yeah,
to...
like they had patience and just talked with us. It was really nice.
Yeah, that's ace.
But yeah, older people as well. But that's
Yeah.
the one that kind of comes to my mind.
Yeah.
But
How does the riding compare then, like between Brazil and the UK?
yeah, it's different. Like the dirt in Brazil is like super soft.
Uh-huh.
So when it rains, you need mud tires.
Okay.
And when I moved to here, obviously here it rains a lot, but
Yeah.
you don't need a mud tire at all. Like it's
Yeah.
rarely the track that you're gonna need like a mud tire, because the ground is so hard packed
Yeah.
that you just run dry tires all the year around. So
Yeah.
that's the biggest difference. And then obviously like the routes, and cause like UK is quite a rooty place.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, that's the main things.
Yeah. So how long between moving to the UK, moving into London, and going to this World Cup where you're going to win, get your factory deal? Like how long had you been in the UK before you hit that?
It was really quick. So while I was in Brazil, my dad was already buying parts to build a bike for me.
Yeah.
It's like when I was in Brazil, I had like a 26-inch wheel Kona, and I think they were just swapped. Like it was 2014 when I moved, so they were like changing from 26 to 27. So my dad bought like a track session 26-inch wheel frame, and then we were just building with parts, chosen parts, like from Chain Reaction, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we built this bike up. I moved in 2014, I think it was May, and then in June, like we had the World Cup. My dad didn't have a car, didn't have anything. We went to this dealership, barely talking English. The guys there were like quite nice with us. We bought like a Mondo Estate, so it fits the bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
And they helped us do the insurance and stuff like that.
Cool.
Obviously, not knowing, because in Brazil you don't need insurance, you don't need nothing of that. You just buy a car and then you drive, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we didn't even know that you needed you need insurance, otherwise you can't even drive.
Nice.
So yeah, he got that all sorted. And then the idea was my dad was gonna take me to Fort William, which from London is like an 8-hour drive.
Easily, yeah. On a good run.
Bear in mind, he never drove in UK.
Okay, yeah.
And then he was gonna come back to carry on working, and then
No way.
go back and pick me up. So we went to the Decathlon, bought like a tent, like a sleep bag. So I was gonna camp there, and as we got there, like we got there, it was amazing. He noticed like it was too far, and I needed him there. So he and my mom slept in the car.
Yeah.
And then I slept in the tent, and then that's how it was my first World Cup.
Unreal.
Like in practice, like, because obviously I didn't speak English, I didn't even know it was like two separate groups. So I don't know how I ended up practicing Group A and Group B. I remember like I had a friend, Bernardo Cruz.
Yeah.
Like he was racing. He like, when obviously I was Group B because I was like a really high number.
Yeah.
And when he saw me in Group A practicing, he was like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm practicing." Why? Practice is still this time. It's like, "No, mate, you're Group B." I was like, "What's Group B?" It's two groups separate. It's like, how I was like, I don't know, man. No one said anything to me. I'm just riding. I'm just having fun.
That's cool.
And was not really having much fun.
Well, yeah, I was going to say Fort William as your first World Cup, having just moved to the UK. I mean, it's a brutal place to be, full stop, even as a spectator, let alone riding that track.
Yeah.
Like, talk us through it as an experience for your first World Cup.
No, exactly. Like, obviously, I was struggling on track, but I had the confidence in my mind I could qualify easy, and maybe by a lucky, if I had a good run, I would be podium.
Okay.
And then let's say after the race, I would be signing my contract with a factory team, and I would be sorted for the rest of my life.
Love it. The mind of an 18-year-old, eh?
No, before I was going to win the race as a first World Cup. So, like I was I struggled quite a lot, and then obviously in qualify, I did my run, and got to the bottom, and I think Rachel, I don't know who won, but like the woman that won the race put at least 30 seconds into me.
Okay. That's quite an education, hey? Like to come from the mindset of like, pretty sure I'm going to do really well here, might get on the podium, to like, okay, I've got some work to do. What was that like?
Yeah, like I mean, in the back of my mind, I did knew it was going to be hard, but I was hopeful that like it would be good, because like people warned me, like Markov warned me, it's not going to be easy, but like like you still have like inside you thinking that you're going to do good. So that was my race, and then obviously just to set everything up and like have like a solid foundation. Like I didn't race at all in 2015 or 2014, like the World Cups. Like concentrate on the national rounds in UK to get like experience and get up to speed. Like obviously the level is different. And then in 2016 I started racing like again like a few races.
How easy was it to make all that work? Right, you're in London. It's a tricky place to be. It's an expensive place to be. Yeah. It's a long way from riding in UK terms, and like you're all grafting, right, to get enough money to kind of live and to fund this hobby. Like, was it pretty tough?
Yeah, no, it was definitely like really hard. Like, we worked like 5 days a week in the roofing, and then like just saving money to spend at the weekends. Like, we would travel to Wales for to ride the tracks and then to race as well. And then obviously then in 2016, because I think in 2015 I was still working like as a like washing plates, so like the money I was getting, it was just helping my dad pay the rent and like just the bills. And then when I started working as roofing, I started saving a bit more money, and then like when I had enough money, I would like go and do like a World Cup. I think like in 2016 I only did like World Champs, which was in Andorra. Which I did pretty well, to be fair, considering. I think I finished like 52nd or 53rd. Which was really good. So
that was your second ever like world level event.
So that was World Champs in 2016. And then in that same year I went to the America Continental Championship, and then I won that race in Peru.
Nice.
So like that was like the first like glimpse of like speed, like, and like, I can do this. And then I was already in a 27.5 bike as well, which again, it was like save money as well to get to that bike as well.
Does the Brazilian like cycling help fund world champs places like that, or do you have to find all the money yourself?
You need to even pay for your jersey. It's pretty tough. They don't help. So
and then I don't know how this all kind of fell together, but More Large, which were a large distributor of bike related products in the UK, and you guys somehow like made a connection that all kind of worked out pretty well.
That was pretty spot on. The way it came about, because we lived in London, so we used to go a lot to Pork.
The Penshurst off-road centre, I think, is it?
So we used to go there a lot, and I don't know if you know, they had like a bike shop there.
Vaguely remember.
And the owner like kind of liked us, so was riding like really fast in the trails, and he thought, I want to help you guys. So like we start riding for their team. Like they gave us jersey, like a kit, like, and then he was sponsored by O'Neill already. Like O'Neill helped like his program. So I started riding for the shop. With like, I had like some sponsors from Brazil still that was like still supporting me, like just with parts. So like made a jersey, and like I started racing like in 2016, and then I think More Large started distributing Polygon and O'Neill in 2016. So in 2017, like Joe Poyser, which is like the guy that like kind of had an idea to create a team, and because like this bike shop was sponsored by O'Neill, so it had the connection. So like when Greg Minnaar used to come to this bike park to do like just confraternization with the riders and stuff like that, so More Large was there. And then like they kind of got the riders from, because then the bike shop in 2017 closed. The guy got back to South Africa because he was from there. and then like they got the riders from that team into the more large team.
Okay, so that's the link in.
Yeah, that's how we got. Yeah, that's how it happened. It was good deal. Like we had to pay for the bike, I think, like a really cheap price on the Polygon bike, and then like they gave us like free gear and like everything. It was pretty cool. And then 2017 we started riding for then.
Yeah.
And then it's where like we started doing more World Cups as well. I did quite a few more World Cups. I think in 2016 I also qualified for my first World Cup in Lenzerheide. I think it was like 78th, because it was like when he qualified 80
Top 80. Yeah.
So I think like I did World Champs and then I did Lenzerheide, and then I think that was it. And then 2017 we started with this with the more large, and I think the first race it was Lords, and I did top 40.
Yeah.
It was the one that rained, and then like a lot of the top 10 I think like got the rain.
It came down in the wet.
Yeah. So I finished 40th, which is like it was
incredible.
Big. Yeah, it was really, really good. But yeah, that's how it came about. And then I think the Fort William race after Lourdes, which I think I did top 50, the owner of More Large was there as his little holiday. And then he met me and my family.
Yeah.
And then he liked us. And then after that, they offered us a job there.
Amazing.
And then that's how like we've been for the past 5 years. Like we've been working on More Large and then riding for then.
Yeah.
And obviously our deal got better and better as we like, because obviously like from the suppliers we managed to get more stuff, and then until the what happened with More Large went into administration.
Yeah. Where are they based? Was it Nottingham they're based?
Derby.
Okay. So you moved up to be up there.
Yeah. So we like again moved up.
Yeah.
Moved again everything.
Yeah.
Into Derby.
And the whole family were working at More Large.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so this like was just purely from meeting the boss and him liking what you were all doing and wanting to kind of get involved.
They just wanted us to help. They probably needed a mechanic, which my dad like is good mechanic. So it was more, I think it was more because of that. And then not just because of that, but so my dad went to work as a mechanic, and then I went to work like as a help the brand managers, like as a junior brand manager, like into the Gravit side. So like the Kenda, like Suntour and like O'Neill and all these brands, Gravity brands, and then Polygon as well when they had Polygon. And then my brother, like he was like more customer service.
Perfect. That's pretty amazing, hey? Like that worked out in that way, and that facilitated you to go and do more racing. And you've done all of this as a privateer, right? Yeah. Give us a feel for privateer life, right? What kind of stuff are you guys doing that a fully supported rider doesn't need to do? Because there's quite a lot of things going on, eh? At
the start, like me and my brother, well, like in 2016, I used to get in the airplane with a bike bag. Yeah. I remember getting to Lenzerheide, I had to get airplane, and then I got 2 trains and a bus.
I've done that same journey. Yeah, I know it's not easy.
With a bike bag is crazy. Yeah. And then my hotel was like in the next village. I looked in the map. It's like 2-3 kilometers. This is fine. But you don't think that's like a mountain that you need to go through before you get to that.
With a bike bag.
Yeah, like no, like I mean just like from like getting to the hotel to the track.
Okay. Yeah.
So like I had to like climb up like quite a lot to get to the other side like of Lenzerheide. Yeah. So that was like the first at first, and then my brother started racing 2017 as well. So we both kind of did that, and then obviously when we moved to More Large, and then like More Large made me do a driver license. Yeah. And then I had my driver license, and then for 2018 we were allowed to use the van. Okay, nice. Which facilitated much more. Yeah. So we had a van, spare parts, everything. Yeah. But yeah, still like we'd never had a mechanic. We never had anything like that. So we just turn up to the races, park as close as we could from the event. Yeah. And then in the back of the van we would have like a stand. and then we just go about that. Like if a bike break, if anything, just go to the van, fix it, and then back up.
It's brutal on your energy though, more than anything, right? Because you've got however many hours of driving to get there. You come off the hill, you've got bikes to clean, tires to change, brakes to bleed, all this kind of stuff that other people aren't doing. You got to go into queue at sign on, I guess, as well. Whereas other riders, people are picking up their race numbers and stuff. Like, it must be pretty tiring to do all that alongside the riding.
Yeah, and then you also have like to cook and do all that stuff as well on top.
No one's giving you a massage, I'm guessing.
No, definitely not. So yeah, but yeah, we seem to like now. I mean, I'm still not perfect, but I'm in a much better place than I was before.
Yeah.
So like this weekend, I'm staying with Sunter.
Okay.
Like they have a big truck there. Like we have an area there, but I'm still doing everything on my bike, and I still like having to do all that thing on that stuff.
Yeah.
I even sleeping in the truck this week with them, which in a way is quite cool because I wake up and I'm already there.
Yeah, true. No commuting.
Yeah, but yeah, like the biggest thing is it's like the meals and then having like someone to like just work on your bike so you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
But like just having the place there, which is close to the finish line, because sometimes you couldn't park the van close, and then you would be like really far away from where you need to be, like from the uplift.
Yeah.
And then you need to like ride loads to get to the van, and then until you change, like let's say you change a tire or something, you lost like easily like half an hour of practice.
Yeah.
And as you know, like in a World Cup, like you already don't have enough practice.
Yeah.
And like every second counts. So it's
Makes
crazy.
life pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Have you found little ways to like not cheat the system, but have you found ways to like make your life easier as a privateer?
Yeah, definitely. Like definitely having like 2 sets of wheels.
Yeah.
So like something happens, like you can just change the wheels straight, like just change the wheel. Like let's say you have a flat, you just change the whole wheel. Like that takes like a minute. Like while changing a tire, if you use insert, it takes like so it can take half an hour.
Quite a while, yeah.
It can take half an hour. But the same thing if you break a wheel. Imagine if you have to rebuild a wheel if you don't have. I already had passed that. Like, I was racing Valdsol as a privateer. I like just one wheel. Like you need to rebuild the whole wheel. That takes
that's
half
the whole
a day.
practice session.
That's
going,
half
right?
a day just to change the whole wheel.
Yeah.
So
and that's pretty common, right? You hear a lot of riders like coming off a practice run with a broken wheel, cruising to their pit, get a new one, and off they go. But for you, you're sat to left dealing with that, I guess.
Yeah, luckily now I use like some really strong wheels.
Yeah.
E13 carbon wheels. They honestly they're unbelievably strong. So like I think last season I went through like 2 rims like in a full World Cup season, which
good. Yeah.
Like they only broke because I hit like a rock super hard, and any other wheel, like if it was alloy, it would just like collapsed.
Yeah.
But they still hold it together, and I still finished my run with like pressure on my tire, which it was crazy to think. But they just cracked. But they have like lifetime warranty, so you can just get like new one.
And you do work for them.
Yeah, I do work for them now as well. But it's crazy like to think.
Yeah.
Like even last week, like on my run in Lenzerheide, I did like I flatted at the top, and I did a full run with the flat tire, and I cased really bad on a rock.
Yeah.
And the ring didn't broke.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
I was like,
pretty
what?
Good. Yeah, you got to be happy with that. So what about the money side of all this? Like, I don't want to get too deep into it, but like, can you give us a feel for what it costs roughly for you for a season to get to all the World Cups, like your race entries, your travel, food, accommodation?
Yeah. It depends how you go about.
Yeah.
It can go from 20 grand to 40 grand, I would thought. Obviously I was quite lucky when I was a more large because they covered the travel expenses and stuff like that.
That's nice.
They gave a van like with fuel card and everything.
Yeah.
Where like this year I'm needing to cover all myself. So I'm fighting like I can do this like cheaper way kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like I'm luckily like all the guys there, the suppliers that already sponsored me. They are sponsoring me direct now, and they're backing me up. So I have like a budget, like a money budget
Okay, nice.
to get to the races.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, how did that all pan out then? So More Large, unfortunately, went out of business. Was it the back end of last year or earlier this year?
early this year,
Early this year, which obviously left you with quite a challenge, right? Because that's your job, your team, like your support, everything. Like, talk us through how you've worked through that, because it's I mean, that's a hell of a problem quite close to the start of the year, really.
Yeah, no, it was definitely tough because just 2 weeks before that, I had my garage broken into, and they stole my motocross bike, which like it was literally my baby. Like I love that thing, and like I worked super hard to get into that, and they stole my e-bike as well. So that happened. So I was like feeling quite sad and like going through a tough time, and then 2 weeks after that, more like just collapses and like, like,
did you see it coming, or was it pretty surprise?
It wasn't kind of thing. Like we knew it was tough, and like they were going through a tough time, but they told us that an investment was coming, and this was going to save the business and stuff like that. So they seemed quite promising that investment was going to happen. And then we just turned up one day to work, and they just pretty much told us to go home.
Oh, man.
Which was it was crazy.
Yeah.
But like everyone says, like it's bad things that come for good.
Yeah.
And it was like a tough month, but just emailed all the brands. Luckily, I had done a good job like the previous year, sending like race reports to all my sponsors and stuff like that. So they all kind of backed me up, and managed to get like a budget to be here racing the World Cups.
If you look back through results, like 2022 looks like a pretty like breakthrough season for you. I would say that was the most consistent, high performing season you've had. Would you agree with that? Do you feel that way?
100%. Like every start of the season, I have like a goal, and like I hate every single goal that I had like for the season that year. So like I wanted to qualify every single round, which I did. I wanted to get like a top 20, which I did. I didn't like. I qualified 18th in Val di Sole, and finished 23rd, and then I was 21st in Leger World Champs. So I was like pretty close to it. So definitely was the most consistent and like the best season I ever had.
Probably came at a good time then, I guess, like to be able to get that, like the deals and the support from the brands that you've been able to get this year, given what happened with More Large. Like having had that 2022 season when you did was probably pretty helpful, huh?
Oh, definitely. If I didn't have that results, I'm sure like I wouldn't have the level of support that I have now.
Yeah,
because obviously the results like just showed then what I can do, and then like from the riders they had, like I was one of the best riders they had. So it was kind of, because like before I never had money from them, because obviously More Large was like kind of backing all up from being a distributor from those brands. So it definitely helped, and massive shout out to them, because if it wasn't for them I wouldn't like even be here, because they totally backed me up and put me back riding.
It's incredible.
It's good because also now can give back to them as well. Like last week I've qualified top 20, which is it was massive, and it shows like the speed is there, and like it shows what I can do
definitely
as well. So
how have we got then? You can see if you look back in your like Roots and Rain data and look at your results over time, you definitely had a pretty sort of steady build, it looks like on paper anyway, up to 2022. 21 feels like it was probably quite a big season for you as well. You won the British National Championship Series. How big a thing was that for you? Was that like a big part of this build and a growth in confidence to get you to where you were last year?
Yeah, definitely. Like with the national championship, like because obviously I've been racing for quite a while, and I remember when I started I was like top 30, and then like next year I was like top 20, and then like my goal always been like to be top 10, like, and then got to a year, I think it was like 2018, I got like top 10, and then like the next year I was like top 5, and then I got that top 3.
Yeah.
And I was like consistent in the podium. And then 2021, like I won. I was like, this is crazy. And then last year I was like, again, like in the fight for the win. Whoever won the last race would win. And then Luke Williamson ended up getting the better of it. And then I finished 3rd, but still like I was fighting for the championship again, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's all about like confidence and like just like getting that pace. I don't know, like for some riders I think it comes easier, and for some other riders takes more time, especially coming from because people don't think like you are away from home, so like everything feels different. Like it's just not it's just you getting familiarized with like everything. It's not only like the track, the bike, it's like food, it's like the weather, it's everything, like the culture, everything is different. So I think it takes time for you to get familiar with that. Maybe for some other people it's easier, but for me definitely it took time. And I think a biggest thing for me is like never giving up, because I'm pretty sure if it was any other people, they would just, with like the amount of like losses I had, like, you know, like bad results, like crashes, injuries. Because obviously we talked about all this, but like through all these years I had like injuries and like bad things happening that, but like I never stopped believing. Like my willing, my want, like the want to do it, it was always bigger than anything else, the wanting to quit, let's say. So I think that's the biggest thing. And like if you put your mind into something and you believe in it and you do everything on your power to do that, want to do that, I think you can do it. You just gotta be patient and like wait for it and put the work as well, and just like never give up. Like, because who saw me in 2014 in Fort William would never say that would like finish in top 20 in Laser High to qualify, let's say that like that, or 21st last year in the World Champs. So, and I think that's just the start of it, because obviously we want to do better, and I think we're capable of it.
For sure, man. How I've spoken to a few people about you over the last few days, doing a little bit of research and trying to find out what I can. And everyone I've spoken to is like, he is the most positive dude. Like every time I see him, he's smiling. He's always happy, whatever's going on. Like, how do you maintain that like positive attitude, like keeping on going? Because like you say, you turned up in 2014, right? Win this, get a factory deal, boom. That didn't happen. And you've spent the last, however many years that is, nearly 10 years, grafting and working, not just at the racing, but away from the racing to fund the racing, like to live this dream, right? Like how have you kept that going? What's the secret for you to staying motivated?
I think it's just what I said. Like, it's like you said, it's a dream. For me, always been a dream. Like growing as a kid, like I wanted to do this, to be in the World Cups and race and do well, like since I created. So like, but I think I want this so bad that like the willing to want this is just so big that it's nothing that they're gonna stop me, kind of thing. And I don't know. And like obviously I have a lot of lows, but then you have those highs, and the highs are much bigger. You just concentrate on the highs instead of the lows. Because if you look through all my season, I always had like, even if it was only one in 1 year, I always had like oh, the speed is there. You just gotta be, you know what I mean? So you just
little bit of a glimmer of hope to keep you going, like.
So you always just try to concentrate on the highs, and don't really focus on the lows.
Fair play.
Everyone, like anyone, is gonna lose before they win. So
true, that's very true, man. And you've recently received some awesome like respect from a number of the fastest riders on the planet. I saw Greg Minnaar the other day saying like, you're the one on track taking the gnarliest lines at the fastest pace. And I was chatting to Ollie Morris for our post race show at the weekend, and he's the line coach for Mondraker, for anyone that doesn't know Ollie. And he's saying he waits for you to come down the hill, and those are the lines he radios to the team to be like, this is where you need to be. Like, how does that feel to be having the, like, you know, some of the best people in the world are looking to you to inform like what's going on the track.
It's pretty crazy. Like, yeah, I wouldn't think I was that guy, but like since I think last year, I hear more people saying that, and like, yeah, it's quite crazy, and like it blows my mind like to hear, especially when I saw Greg saying that. I was like, whoa, like, yeah, that's
amazing,
that's big. So yeah, it was quite cool from him. If you listen to this, thanks, mate.
Nice.
So yeah, no, it's crazy, and like even this weekend, like I'm just looking into lines because obviously people probably watched it, like your podcast and like the Wyn TV thing that Greg say. So I had some random people that I never seen before. Oh, what do you think here, Roger? Where what's the line
on track walk?
On
people,
track walk, like today, like I was like I tried to keep like cool, like I was like, oh no, I think this is the line, blah blah blah. But like inside me, I was like, whoa, what's going on?
Cool,
like,
man. That's so cool.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool, and yeah, I don't even know what to say, but it's a pretty cool thing.
It definitely feels like things are starting to get some traction for you. You know, comments like that, more people talking about you, and I think Wyn's Privateer project is probably a big part of that. So I think you've obviously won Wyn's Privateer of the Week award in the past, but he's got this new project this year where there's support with a bike and some product and various things. And like, I think for one race, you get like a kind of full factory level of support.
Yeah. So yeah, Lenzerheide, I had that. So I was the first rider of the project.
Yeah. How did you find out about it? Like, when did Wyn get in touch personally to say? Like,
so like we've been in talks like quite like since probably the end of last year.
Okay.
But because I wouldn't want to do it if I didn't have the bike early enough so I could get used to the bike.
Yeah. 100%.
So obviously I've been riding like the other bike for quite a while, like for the past 3 years. So I wanted to have at least like a month or more to get used to the bike. And like literally, if it was a day later, I wouldn't want, because like you know, like what I mean. Like
you've got to be ready for the season, right? Yeah.
So the bike literally arrived like on a Monday, and on the Tuesday I was flying to France to do a Sunter Camp training.
Amazing.
So I spent like the whole day building the bike. The bike arrived the Monday morning.
Yeah.
Like by 10 in the night, the bike was ready. 4 o'clock in the morning, like we were driving to Gatwick to fly to France. Yeah. The bike wasn't even fully finished because like it was missing the hardware of the shock and stuff like that. So it was pretty hectic, but like, yeah. So I knew quite early, and then like we just talked, because obviously I also had like my personal sponsors and stuff. So it needed to be right. I didn't want to like upset my sponsors. So we managed to find like a way where everyone was happy, and then we made it happen. Got used to the bike, and then last week we had the opportunity to be like in the pits with GT, and then like food, like the biggest thing was like the food. Like they have like a catering, so the guys bring the food like for you, like lunch and dinner, like amazing. In there. Like you don't need to go to, like you don't need to cook, or you don't need to go to the restaurant, choose, and like like the food is good and like healthy as well. Yeah. So you're not going like eating pizza or burgers, like stuff like that. And also like reading into menus that you don't even understand what is it. And then obviously the other biggest one was like having a mechanic like to myself, and like at the start it was quite hard because like obviously I know every single bit in the bike that what needs to be done. So like trusting someone else like to work on your bike is quite hard. But like Trevor, which was my mechanic, he did like an amazing job. Like like the bike was faultless like all week. So and I was just like sitting in the chair looking in, working on my bike, and
it must have felt so surreal after all this time.
I felt so pro. I felt like I was like in the qualifying I was like warming up at the top. Normally I just warm up on my bike, or I try to see if like someone that I know is there and then let me use their turbo trainer or stuff like that. But I was there, and like I had my mechanic with an umbrella, like just like holding the umbrella for me, so I'm not in the sun like warming up, and I was like, where am I?
That's amazing. Did you feel any cool like pressure with that? to perform?
No, not at all.
Nice.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Because, I was just enjoying really the week, and no pressure at all. And it showed because I
20th in
qualified.
qualies.
Yeah, 20th, and then obviously I had a flat in semi-finals, but I mean, I was going really well, like until I had the flat. It was really at the top, and even with the flat, I carried on my run because I had like an insert on my tire, and I did the full run. And I think, because obviously that track has some flat bits, and like on the flat bits, the bike wasn't rolling at all. I wasn't even casing. I was even casing the jumps, but like on the steep section, which I think was like split 2 to 3, I looked at my time, and I was like 1 second faster than my qualifier with a flat tire on that section, and I was like 24th, like on that split with a flat tire.
Sweet.
Which then I looked on the time because I did a 2:49 in qualifying, and to go to finals as top 30, I only needed to go 1 second faster. So all I needed to do is just do the same thing as I did in qualies, which my run already was feeling better till I flatted.
Yeah.
And then just gone 1 second faster, which I went with a flat tire. So
there you go. So you know you got it.
Yeah. So like I know I'm going really deep into like data, but like I looked into it, and like
that's what gives you the belief then coming into this week, right?
Yeah. So obviously like you did that time, but that time wouldn't put me into it. But the run didn't feel like that great as well. The qualifier, I knew I had quite a few mistakes at the top, which showed on my splits. Yeah, my splits at the bottom were really good, and at the top was like quite bad. Yeah, and like when I was on semi-final, those mistakes that I did like in quali, they were like proper perfect good. Yeah, but I could had other mistakes down the bottom, but we're never gonna know. But
so feeling good coming into Leogang then?
Yeah, man, I feel really good. Did track walk. Track looks amazing. First time I see that woods in the dry.
Yeah, it looks good in the dry.
It looks amazing. Like you just look at those roots and you're like, oh right, you're not gonna slip. No. Hopefully,
it's gonna get exciting in the woods. I think. It's gonna be fast.
Yeah. I love the woods. Like since they changed it, and in the wet whatever. Like I always liked it. And I always rode good. So yeah, I'm really, really excited and can't wait to ride the track, and see if we can back up that result again.
Yeah, man, definitely. How are you finding the new format? Like thoughts on the changes this year?
Yeah, so I mean, qualify same. When I was warming up for semi-final last week, and obviously as you warm up, you have a lot of pressure mentally, just thinking about the track and like. You need to perform and do that run. And I thought about like, I need to do this again, like in a couple of hours. Yeah. It felt like mentally, not physically, but mentally quite hard. But yeah, apart from that, it is what it is. And it's the same for everyone. Yeah. You just kind of get used to it, I guess. But yeah, I didn't have the opportunity to go into finals and to actually see how it would feel. Yeah. But like that was the feeling that I had like when I was warming up. It just felt like, fuck, this is going to be kind of mentally quite
big day. Big day on that side of things. What about for privateers? Do you think it's going to be particularly challenging for privateers?
Yeah, like obviously last week I had a mechanic do everything on my bike, so but it felt tight between. Yeah, it's like from practice to qualifying, from practice to semi to final. Like it's a short period of time. If your bike is nothing wrong with your bike, then it's fine. But if it's a problem with your bike, and then the other thing is, I would get down the button and like lunch would be there or whatever. Yeah, food would be there, so you wouldn't not have to, like lose time to eat, like go order something or something like that. So that might be a bit tricky. So you just need to work around, like prepare your food before, and then hope that your bike doesn't break.
True. Do you think it's harder for privateers, the new format though?
It probably is because the times are tighter. Yeah. So like between practice and racy and quali or whatever. So it is tighter because you have less time to prepare yourself, especially from semis to final, I think. So yeah, it'll be a bit tougher, but
but you're going to make it work.
Exactly.
What do you think it will take then to get to this the full factory dream that we've been striving for many years? Yeah, like the results are obviously climbing, the potential is there. Like a final place is definitely on the cards. Like, what do you think it takes to get onto a full factory team?
Yeah, obviously, like I never tried to get into it because I never had the results to back me up. But then obviously last year I had the results, so I did when asking around.
Okay.
The end of last year to see if I could get like a ride. Had like really positive like talks and really positive feedbacks and stuff like that, but it just didn't happen. Just couldn't get like a deal or anything to
I think it's
concrete.
a tough year as well. Like budgets have been pretty tight for a lot of brands.
Exactly. So, but I believe that if I do the results, then it's no reason why I can't get days for next year.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially if I'm consistent in that top 20, top 30.
Yeah.
I think it's no reason why I can't get a factory rider. So that's my plan.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make work. But if any team's looking, I'm free and available for next year.
Awesome. And you've done a pretty good job on the social media side, actually. Like over 25,000 followers now on Instagram, which for privateer is pretty high. Like, do you think that's important for you and for trying to get into like a more supported position?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like social media. I mean, some people don't even ride, like don't even give results. Just back them up through social media. So yeah, social media is definitely massive. And I try to do as good as I can with reels and stuff like that. Obviously, just trying to post like cool videos and me riding, and that seems to stoke people. And then obviously the main thing is stoke people, and then the consequence of that is you get more followers, and then obviously it's good for the brands, and then you get like support and stuff like that. So it's definitely a big thing of it.
And you're still balancing all this with full-time work?
Yeah. I mean, I'm part-time now.
Okay.
So I managed to, like I said, I start working for E13 UK now.
Yeah.
After more large collapsed, which they gave me the opportunity to have a flexible time or working. So I'm like, they give me the time off to come and race.
Yeah.
And then I work 3 days a week during the week. So I have 2 days where I can go ride my bike and prepare myself for the World Cups. So yeah, that's pretty handy.
Do you find you're able to like recover better between training sessions with a bit less work in your schedule? Is that helping that side?
Yeah, definitely. And like the work as well is in the office. So I mean, it's not really like physical. So when you're in the office as well, you kind of resting as well.
Sat down, kind of taking it, not taking it easy.
It's more more mentally kind of work.
Yeah,
but no, it's good.
Good, in a good spot, man. I'm super excited to see like where this season goes for you, because there's like definitely some serious promise there, and I'll be up on the hill tomorrow watching you light up the line choice, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of riders keeping their eyes on you now that we know that you're the one to watch for all the best lines.
No pressure.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's going to be good. Before we wrap up, we've got our final 4 questions, but before we hit those, I just want to get your advice, I guess, to up and coming privateers, the people that are like 2014 Roger, that are wanting to get to their first World Cup. They want to go and do this as a career and try and make it. Like, what advice would you give them with given everything you've learned so far?
I think like I talked earlier, like it's just like first you need to ask yourself if you want this as bad. Like for me, I want this as bad as anything in the world. Like if you put me and tell me I have a job of 100 grand, or I can go to a World Cup and race the World Cups with with no salary. I would choose to go and race the World Cups with no salary.
Good man.
That's how bad I want. So you need to ask yourself that question, and then if you like actually really want that bad, then you just gotta go after your dream, and like just never give up. Like it'll be tough. No, it's not gonna be easy. You're gonna suffer, and you're gonna have a lot lows on the way, but if you like actually believe it and not give up and like put the work as well, because it's hard, you need to train and put the work in. It's no reason why you can do it.
Good advice. I like that, man. Let's hit up these final 4. the first one of those, if our listeners had £150 to spend to improve their performance on a bike, what would you recommend they go spend it on? We're not going to get any E13 wheels for 150 quid, are we?
But I'm doing coaching, so
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Are you really? Okay, whereabouts?
Yeah, just in UK. So
Yeah.
I start because obviously I started doing just before More Large went under. So like
Okay.
at the end of last year, I did like my course and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I started doing the coaching.
Nice.
And then I started doing even more like once More Large closed, so I had
Yeah.
like more time and stuff. So yeah, I mean, yeah, 150 quid. It's a day with me,
Okay.
like in my local.
Yeah. Where is your local these days?
Derby. So
Okay.
around Derby area.
Yeah.
But then I also do in Llangolan as well, which is a bit more because obviously I have to travel and stuff.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
obviously you have the uplift and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, coaching day, it's pretty good.
Definitely.
And apart from that, I would say get like a shock pump and like a pressure gauge because that's the first thing.
Yeah.
I can't go out on the bike without that. So
Always check
yeah,
where you're at.
Yeah.
And,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Nice. Good advice. I didn't realize you're doing the coaching. That's cool, man. All right. Second one. If you could wind back the clock and sit down with yourself age 16, I guess you'd still be in Brazil at this point. What advice would you give him?
Wow. Yeah, that's a trick one. Yeah, just yeah, try to try to be more patient and yeah, try to keep it cool. Like yeah, I think I used to put a lot of pressure into me and used to crash a lot because of that. So yeah, just trying to not put too much pressure into myself, kind of thing. So
how have you worked to put less pressure on yourself? Is it just something that's come with time, or have you found ways to?
Yeah, it's more like yeah, with time. It's things that you can say to your mind and stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing is confidence. If you have the confidence, then you're not too worried.
And confidence takes time to build, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's tricky, but like this week, obviously I knew I was confident, but I didn't know where I would be.
Yeah.
And obviously when I finished 20th, like that was a surprise for me.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, I knew I was riding good, but 20th, like the way the sport is now, it's crazy. So like that just gave me like another massive boost of confidence, which is pretty good. But too much confidence is also not good because you can get like really confident and then you just end up hurting yourself.
Yeah, and you can lose that confidence very quickly.
Yeah,
right?
and then the all goes. So you just gotta find the balance, like to be confident but not be stupid. Because like especially last week, like it was like raining and then the track like got like really slippery, and like I would stop in like a key section and look people going for it and just crashing. I was like, what's the point? The forecast saying it's gonna be dry. Yeah, the track's gonna dry up. It's not point like trying to like do this section fast. Yeah, or in that line now. Yeah, because it will be totally different for race. So you gotta do that thinking. Yeah, it's like a mature headspace. Yeah, like during the week, because you can easily you see last week like how many people got injured. Yeah, it was a big list. Yeah, so but. Yeah, it can happen, and it happens, and it can happen anytime. So you just gotta try and avoid and try to be smart and avoid those things. Definitely. All right, next one. If you could have a coaching session from anyone, past or present, who would it be, and what would you want to learn from them? Whoa, that's a tricky one. You can have more than one if you want. I mean, obviously, growing up, I always looked up to Sam Hill. I think a lot of people did. So yeah, it would be cool to have just a coaching session with him, and like just see how. Obviously, I watched his podcast as well and listened to it, and you can learn quite a lot of few things. But like it's pretty crazy how fast he could go. Like than anyone else, like the big margins that he would put and the way he would corner and stuff like that. I mean, his flat pedals and like he still win without Sole in like by 8 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's ridiculous. Like that is the track that you don't want to be in flat pedals because it's so gnarly, so rough, and your foot will be just bouncing around. I can't even imagine riding like that. But he did, and he did really well.
Was it cool to be on track with him last weekend?
Yeah, it's quite cool. I actually, in Fort Wyn, and I went in the gondola with him.
Oh, the British, he was at the British National, yeah.
So that was quite cool. Tried to talk with him a bit, but he's a quiet guy. He
is, yeah.
But try. I managed to get a few words out of him, so that was quite cool. But yeah, it's so many people like that. Yeah, I looked up to it. Steve B and it's many Greg, many legends out there. But yeah.
The day with Sam would be good.
Yeah,
definitely.
That'll be cool. I also like his visualization thing as well. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting, eh?
Like you close your eyes and do a run and get your time
on the stopwatch.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've heard a few people talk about that like type of visualization recently, saying they can get pretty accurate on the time. I did last week in Leinsterheide.
Yeah. And I did a 2:53.
Yeah.
And then I did a GoPro first, like in the morning, and I did a 2:54. But I think it was lucky because I would do the run in my head, and then I would I'm too slow here, and then I would speed up in the next sections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I got the time pretty accurate, but it wasn't like the run wasn't. It wasn't like my proper run.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I was like slowing and speeding up.
Yeah.
Like during the visualization, but
yeah. Is that a new thing for you doing the visualization side?
Yeah,
or?
Yeah, it's pretty new because I didn't tend to do it. I don't know why, but I thought I could think bad things and then bad things would happen. So visualizing, and then you crash in the visualization.
Yeah,
and then that keeps stuck on your mind
and happens in real life. Yeah.
So that I always avoided, but now I start to do it, and
think it's good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, but you just gotta train your mind to
not crash in the visualization.
Not think the negatives.
Yeah, that's true. It's true, right? If you think it's like the whole thing. If you look at a tree, you're probably going to hit it. Like you have to focus on what you're doing well, not what might go wrong, I suppose.
It goes again like strong mind, isn't it? Like to be able to do that and not think anything like negative.
Definitely. Cool, man. Last one then. What do you do every day that you feel benefits you?
I think like stretching is something that like I start doing like a lot, and I think it kind of benefits me a lot. Just like having like that full range of movements. And just like having like a routine in general, like on your day.
Yeah,
as well. Like for me, it was quite tough the past months with like everything that happened. Like my routine just pretty much like it went out the door straight away because everything was like so messy. But I would say that.
Nice. Do you find the stretching and the mobility that comes from that helps your riding, or helps make you more robust if you crash? Like, or maybe both. I don't know.
Yeah, I think both. Yeah. Like it's not something that you notice, but since I started doing it, like I had less injuries and I started riding better.
Okay, there you go.
It doesn't mean anything because it can be so many other things that I did different. But I'm 100% sure that it does help. And then
it's not made you worse. Yeah,
like I always have like low back pain, and like when I stretch, I just feel like it's just like it makes it much better. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure hearing the story so far. I feel like there's a lot more to come from the Roger Vieira story. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that pans out over the next few seasons. If people want to follow you and keep up to speed with how you're doing, where should they be looking?
Yeah, Instagram definitely. Yeah,
which is at
Roger Vieira 8.
Okay, I'll put links in the show notes so people can find that.
Yeah.
But cool. Best of luck for this weekend. Best of luck for the rest of the season. And hopefully we'll see you in the big show come the weekend.
No, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. And again, thanks for the opportunity. And it's a pleasure being here in the show. And I hope everyone home enjoys as well. So
sure they will, man.
Yeah, nice thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Cheers, man.
All right.
Thanks.